All right. This is the Batcave Beats, and I'm joined here today with Atticus Thatcher, and he's going to start by telling you a little bit about himself and how he got started with music.
I'm Atticus Thatcher. I'm just a dude. I just like doing a lot of dude stuff. I like working. Making music is definitely a passion of mine, but doesn't really, I guess, rule my life like I guess you would think it would take, you know. I got started. I started making music. My brother, when I was like 12, got a guitar and he started taking guitar lessons. And I thought it was super cool. And so I just kind of started playing guitar then. And then it's in a whole bunch of bands in high school. And then being in a band, if you've ever been in a band, it's kind of like having five girlfriends. And so that's when Atticus Thatcher came along. And I've just been rolling with that since like 2012.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Have you always gone for like a similar style of music, or like with going from bands to like your own thing, has that kind of changed?
Yeah, man, it's weird with the style. It's the first band I was in was like a alternative Christian band, and we did like Hinder covers and stuff, so that was cool. And then I went to a full-fledged like metal band, and I had no idea what the singer was saying ever, but the shows were so much fun. And the weird thing was is when I actually started the Atticus Thatcher project, I didn't listen to music for like a year, like if I could help it. Like I didn't turn on the radio. I just listened to NPR and because I didn't really want to have any kind of like outside influences. I just kind of wanted to see like I guess where my mind would go. And that was cool, but it's also a little depressing not listening to anything but everything you're making, you know. Um but I kind of just do I kind of just do whatever I feel, man. I've been listening to a lot of country. I'm like right on the West Virginia line right now, so like everyone down here listens to country music. So um I've been like playing a lot of acoustic guitar, but I always just try to do like whatever I feel. I don't try to stick to one just because it to me it gets old. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So
Um, does your brother still do like music then too, or is he just kind of no, he just kind of picked up the guitar,
no.
put it back down shortly after?
Well, he got pissed because I just practiced all the time. He would take lessons like once a week, and I would practice all the time, and I eventually got better than he was, and he was just like, "Oh fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore." So, um, no, I'm pretty much the only one in my family that's really doing anything with music like that. Like none of my parents weren't really. I think my mom played piano, but um I've just always kind of been super into like making music. I always thought it was really cool, you know.
Yeah. Well, for doing it so casually, you've amassed a pretty like decent sized following for doing it so casually and not like I feel like a lot of people like yeah, I know you have over like 500 monthly listeners on Spotify, and that to some people doesn't seem like a
Yeah.
lot, but to others, that takes a
Oh,
lot to
dude.
get there. That's
To me that's a lot, man. I mean,
yeah, no, that's a lot.
I think it's amazing. I still um I've got buddies like my buddy Jay Shirts, he produces a good bit of a good bit of my stuff. Um he's produced like FBT and Hello I'm Fine and a lot of my like recent singles. And he is like, first of all, he's a wizard. I don't know how he does it. He can literally just like, he'll send me like a beat a day. It's crazy. And they're all so good. But he is like on the social media, like super heavy and really consistent. And it's like really professional looking and really good. And I'm sure he's definitely doing better than I am, but it's just like I'm surprised that like I have even have that many just because like I'm not really on it, you know, as far as like super consistent posting. Um, but yeah, I think it's great. So anyone who is listening to my stuff, thank you. I appreciate the hell out of it. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's like, what genre would you put it in? Because I feel like it's so unique with like and the songs are so like different across the board.
I just tell, I've just, what I've started doing is just telling everybody pop, man, because like, I don't really know, it's like, I'll do some stuff with Jay Shirts, and it's like real poppy. And then like I had this one song like Your Love, we like wrote it in like 5 minutes. He came over to my house, he had the instrumental already done, and we like wrote it and recorded it in literally like 15 minutes, I think. And it was like super like straight cut like pop love song. And then like I'll have stuff like that I'll put out with Diamond Miller. Um Shout out to the homie Diamond Miller. That's like real hip hop and real like just like I don't know. To me, I guess I would say like it's like raw. It's like it's just real like straight to the point. But I just tell everyone pop because I really never know what to say because I'm all over the board. I just um like I said, I've been writing country songs, which is really cool, man. If you have never like listened to old like 70s, 60s country, man, do it. It's so good. So
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So that is that kind of like the new stuff coming out from here is gonna be a little bit more of that vibe, or is it gonna whatever it takes, whatever form it
Yeah, I
takes?
don't know, man. I've been putting together an acoustic project. Um, but the thing is like I'm really like if I'm not having a good time doing it, man, I'm just like not about it. And I would love for music to be my career. But I also like it's just when I'm doing like when I'm like when I sit in here and I'm just like, okay, I've got to make some music today. I've got to do this, or I've got to, it just like kills it for me. And it totally like drains, it drains whatever like joy it brings. And I know some people will, especially like other people who make music will be like, oh, fuck that. You can't do that. You gotta, and I get it and I get it. But I don't know the new stuff. Like I said, I was sitting here playing my MPC, and it's just like straight hip hop. And then I've been writing country music, and so there's no telling, man. There's no telling.
Do you ever listen to any Mike? You know who Mike is? Like with a period. He used to be Mike Stud.
Yeah, I've got a friend who is super into him. He's really dope, but I don't know. I don't I haven't listened to a bunch of his stuff, but that's not super uncommon. I'll get like really I'll get really fixated on like recently it's been like Mac Miller. Like I listened to Best Day Ever and Kids like back when I was in high school, and then didn't listen to anything else he put out. And then my girlfriend recently got me on like Circles and Swimming and some of his later stuff, and it's just like so good. And I'm
Yeah.
just like that's the only thing in my car I've been listening to is Mac Miller. And
Yeah.
it's just like
Fixated on
where have I been?
where has this been? I was just gonna
But
say he Mike talks a lot about that, about like the transition of learning that like living life is a big part of making the music. Like making the music, like if you're stuck in the studio and you're trying to force something to come out, it just like doesn't come out as natural. Kind of like what you're saying, where it's just like if you're not having fun doing it, it's not gonna
yeah,
come out good.
and that's a very good point, man. I feel like you kind of like what if from what I understand you were saying, what he was saying is like I've got to live like a little bit. Like I'll write probably 5 or 6 months out of the year, and then the rest of the year, like I'm not writing. Like I'll like come in here and I'll like, kind of noodle around, but um uh I think when you get so caught up in writing and putting stuff out and like it you always feel defeated. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And that sucks, man. It's like life is great. First of all, I love being alive. It's super cool. I'm not always super happy, but like I'm always super thankful to be alive. So with that being said, like it's just like when you're constantly just like in like trying to write and create and put out new stuff and like force like to make something good, like it's so like you're just defeated because you feel like, damn, I've spent all this time doing this and putting in this work and everything I'm doing right now sucks. And like you really gotta like, for me at least, I've got to step away and just be like, it'll happen. Not so much be like, well, I'm just not even gonna, fuck all that. I'm not even gonna, worry about it. It's still like always on my mind. But yeah, it's a weird thing, like trying to put out stuff that like you feel like actually speaks to people in it and just like, or stuff that you like.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like as an artist of any kind, whether you make music or whatever you do artistically, you're obviously like your own like biggest critic, you know? And so I think when you go day in and day out of just like beating yourself, like, working yourself to death and anything, it's just like gonna at some point bring you down. And maybe that's not something everyone agrees with, but like for me, that's like the biggest thing is I gotta step away and realize like I have a life other than like making music. Like I can't sit here and be like, music is my life, which, I love making music and it like brings me a lot of joy. But there's other things I want to do, man. I could like gardening and stuff. Like when I lived back in South Carolina, I had like chickens, like I like running around the woods barefoot and shit, like so I think he's right when he said that you gotta live, you
Yeah.
know, super important.
I think it's a tough career in that aspect just because you're always, but it's not like a lot of jobs you go in, you clock out, you're done for the day. And there's never really that feeling, no matter how much time you put into music, of really being done. Like you might put out a project and have like that short period of time where you're like, oh yes, this is finished, this is done. But then like it doesn't take long before you're like, all right, what am I gonna do now? And it's like a never ending cycle. So I think it's good that you have that balance of like this isn't everything and I can accomplish other things.
Yeah, that's true. You said something like when you said like it's done and it's like it's finished and you're like on to the next thing. I will say, dude, anytime I put anything out, I'm already so burnt out on like that track, dude. Like I'll put something out and I'll be like, oh, I just heard, you knew what and what. And I'm just like, oh my God, let's talk about something else. Not like I have this song, Make a Move. It's like uh one of the first songs that I actually had like on iTunes. And we shot a video for it in LA and it was super cool. And like the whole experience was cool, but like I can't even listen to it now. Like if it comes on, I have to skip it. It's just like, and I've like played some shows and like I asked, like, what do you want me to play when I'm there? And they're like, make a move. And I'm just like, fuck that. Like, fuck that.
Like
It's
any
just
other
like,
request, anything.
yeah, I was like, I will stab myself in the ear if I have to hear that song again. Um, that's so weird how that happens. It's so weird. Like I'll have stuff that like will, come out later this year and I've had it like I've got a project coming out later this year. I haven't decided when yet, but like I've had it for like a year. And when it comes out, I'm just gonna be like, you know,
Under
so,
the
I'm so excited for everyone to hear it. Like, don't get me wrong, but like I'm just like so over it. It's just like it almost gets to a point where I'm like, oh fuck, man, let's just put this out so I can quit fucking listening to it.
I think that's hard too now with like TikTok and Instagram where like you really have to like promote it like and make all these videos before you even put out the song. That I notice that sometimes even as a listener, like you hear the same hook like every day for like 3 months and then the song
Yeah.
comes and it's not that the song's bad, but like it's you've been listening to the hook for 3 months. So you're just like, okay, this like
You're right, man. It's so crazy, man. Like I know I like for heard of people what they'll do is they'll like make a little snippet of a song and then if it like blows up, like then they'll finish it.
oh,
Yo, and shout out to them, yo, because that would be to me that just seems like such a hard because like if I'm like writing something, like I'm almost stuck on it. Like I've gotta like I'm in that moment and I'm feeling it like and just to like write a hook and then like be like so essentially like from what I understand, they're writing just like a bunch of hooks. You
yeah.
know, if it pops off, they're like, okay, let's finish this one and put it out, which is cool and it's smart because it makes sense. Like with the way like social media is, it's like, duh, why would you spend like, I guess I see the point. It's like, why would you spend all this time writing a whole bunch of songs that no one's going to listen to when you
Mhm.
could like write a little bit of a song and then, so it makes sense. Um, I just like, I actually just had like my first video go viral, and it was me and my youngins in the car asleep. And
I
it
thought
like,
it's gonna be you and your cat and your half mustache. No, I thought that maybe one of those went viral. I don't know.
dude, did you see that? That was so crazy.
I know.
Dude, I went to work like that.
You went to work like that every day. You're just like, what's
Dude,
going
it's finally back, but dude, I look rough for weeks. For weeks.
on? Dedication.
But it is so crazy, man. Like it was literally just like the crazy thing is a video I posted like almost a month ago. And
And
like out of nowhere, it like started getting likes. And then I woke up one morning. I woke up 2 mornings ago and it had 10,000 likes, and now it's like almost 400,000. Just like, and I'm just like, what?
what
So
happened?
yeah, it's the internet's weird, man, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean that's why I always whenever people say they take their stuff down, I'm like, just leave it up there. You never know. Like, yeah, maybe when it drops for whatever reason, it doesn't go, and then I'm not saying it will, but there's always that chance that someone's gonna stumble upon it and like
Dude, that was such a good point, man. I can't tell you how many times I've like put something up and I've been like, I've been like, oh fuck, that's weird. Why did I do that? I gotta take this off the internet right now. And you're right, dude. It could be, and that's such a good point, man. You gotta if you post it, man, you post it for a reason. Unless you're like, shit drunk and you're just
yeah.
like, ah.
All right. Next morning, all right, delete, delete, delete.
Yeah. It's like, fuck, I meant to send that to my homie. I didn't mean to put it online.
Yeah, I've had
Yeah,
those
that's it.
before.
Oh man.
Who knows? In a couple of years, maybe the half mustache will be a trend, and then all those videos will be like, "Hey, how did you started this?" Like,
Dude, you
like
never know, man. You never know, man. I I try to stay consistent with it, but like I said, man, it's such a I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's hard and this, that, and the other, because people do it. Like if you want to do it, you're gonna do it. Any like with anything, if you like want to do it, you're going to. It's just like, man, it's not in me, man. Like, and if that, I guess there's like two sides to that. It's like, well, if you're not on your shit, like, how do you ever expect to like be successful with it? But also, it's just like, it's weird, man. You just, like you ever just had a feeling something's gonna work out, man. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Dude, I got that feeling, man. And not like I don't think it's like me just being super like whimsically like hopeful, like something's gonna happen. I don't. Uh, I work hard in other aspects, I think, and not all the time pertaining to music. And I fuck up and I'm a fuck sometimes for sure, just like anyone else. But I think it's gonna be cool, man. I think everything's gonna be cool. So um, I try not to worry about it too much because what was it, like Jay-Z was like 32 before he blew up.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like I'm just now about to turn 30. I turned 30 on Saturday.
Well, congratulations. That's exciting.
Yeah, I made it. I didn't think I was gonna make it.
30 used to feel so far away. It's just
This man, I'm surprised I made it through my 20s, man. I was a wild thing, man. It's amazing.
20s are a good time.
Yeah.
20s are
Oh
like
yeah.
20s though now, so it's
Yeah, it's good though.
yeah. No, I feel like as long as you stay true to yourself, I feel like that's really like the key that gets lost is people get too caught up in the promoting and what's gonna like take off and what's gonna like get the most views, the most likes, the most plays. And I feel like that honest belief of like what I'm doing is enough and that like it's gonna get where it needs to go is gonna go a long ways.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you just cut out for a second.
Oh, dang. That was really, really heartfelt message there and you missed it. So I was
I,
just
I
saying.
heard I heard up until people get lost and then it just like cut out. I
Oh.
hate that. I feel like it was so powerful.
No, it wasn't that powerful. But I was just
Okay.
like, as long as you're like stuck in and you like you're true to yourself and you're not getting lost in like the promotional stuff and like selling yourself and you stay true to yourself, then I feel like it works out in the way it's supposed to, like you were saying. So I was just saying, yeah.
I hope you're right, man, because like that's the way I that's what I'm really banking on, man. One thing I have like noticed though that is weird about the internet, as far as like staying true to yourself, like I try to be very like authentic, and but like I've gone to like shows and stuff, and people come up to me and talk, and I'm just like I'm so very like uncomfortable. I'm so like very much like this is me. Like this is, you know what I mean? This is
Yeah,
like,
it's in my space.
and so like I'll go to like I've gone to shows and like I've been, I was talking to this group of people and they were like, and I was like, oh man, I'm just really nervous right now. And they're like, fucking nervous for what? And he was like, you see all these people? They like came here to see you. Like, what are you nervous about? And it was just like, and even like when I met my girlfriend, she was like, oh, you like, you're just so confident. And I was just like,
Am
man,
I? Am I?
am I? Like, I guess I come off like that, I guess.
See somebody else other than me that I don't know about? You
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. I'm like, it's I guess once I broke that barrier of like not trying to like, I think it's like when you first start making music, I think you make music that you think people want to hear. So you're like really saying stuff and like doing things the way you think. And it's like for me, like it's super common. Anyone knew like that that I listen to, like because I like working with like people, like especially when I was back in South Carolina. I had a big space, and I would have people from there who wanted to work. We would just work, and that's a cool. Just going off on another tangent, like working with cats who like are just starting to make music is the coolest thing because they have all of the drive and none of the fucking heartbreak. It's the coolest thing, dude. Because they will sit there. I sat there with this cat for 12 hours and he was just going, just going. And I'm like, dude, I gotta go to bed, man. It's like 4 in the morning. I gotta be at work. But damn, I lost my train of thought now. I was saying, so you kind of like you're doing like what you think people want to hear, and then like when you kind of like, for me, the big thing was breaking into like saying things that like I probably wouldn't say to anyone else, like talking about like either like how I'm really feeling on the inside, or like being depressed, or like drug use, or like this, that, and the other, and like being comfortable to put that out because like typically like you want to seem cool, right? Like you want to seem like you're a fucking cool dude. And when you're like putting out tracks and it's like you're talking about like hating yourself and shit, and and it's just like because you get to a point where you're like, fuck it, what else am I gonna do? It's like the only thing I can. And that's, I think, like when I noticed that people really started like responding to any of my stuff. And so like I guess like once you get that, when you realize that, and you're like, okay, well, I can kind of be myself, like on the internet, and then you're just so used to, there's that curtain with the internet where you can like say stuff, but you're really not talking to anyone in particular. It's like it's just you and your phone, and so I guess that's why people like the people I've met think I'm confident, and they're, it's like I stutter sometimes, like in public and shit, and it's just like so it's a weird thing with the internet, man. You
Yeah.
know.
No, it takes reps. I think it's all a part of taking reps. You gotta spend time on there, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. And,
That's true.
yeah,
I mean, that's true. I mean, that's big facts, like with anything.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
I'm sure
Uh,
that's how performing went too, right? Like your first few performances had to be like terrifying.
well, the cool thing about that is, yes, absolutely. I still, anytime I perform, I still get super nervous, right? Like, and I think this is a lot of people who perform, like right up until I start, it's like when I was in that metal band, I would throw up before every show, and all I did was play bass. I didn't sing or anything. So like And then once you start playing, like it kind of you kind of just like a switch, and you kind of just like go for it. But it really depends too, though, like with the audience and like how the crowd is, because like one, if it's just like a whole bunch of like, if it's like your friends and your family, that's always weird as fuck for me,
Yeah.
because like you've got like you have some friends that actually listen to like your stuff, and I think this is probably true with anyone who does anything outside of the box. Like your family sees you as like who you are, and then you are trying to do this other thing that's like an extension of yourself and like what you're really into, and they can't see past you. Does it make sense?
No, that's a really good way to put it, I think. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And it's always so weird because like I can remember my brother's always been super supportive, but like it's been in different like he's never he's never just shit on me, but like there have been times where it was like, like, oh, are you going to like your little studio? And then like of course my music wasn't that good, and like over the years like it got like better and started sounding better. And then I play him something and be like, this is you? And I'd be like, yeah, motherfucker, I was in my little studio for years, you know.
This in a little studio.
Yeah, it's just like you fucker, but it's your brother's always gonna be like that. But yeah, like it depends on who you're playing for. Like I could play in front of like a whole bunch of like random people and it's totally cool because the fuck they don't know the difference,
Right. Yeah.
you know. And it's like I always think it's harder like playing unless the people that are there are like super into it. Like, but I'd also like rather play for a group of like 10 people who are really fucking into it than a group of a fucking million people who could give a fuck if I was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah.
know,
You want people that actually care about the music, aren't just there. I think that'd be the hardest part. Like you see people play live music at like bars and stuff. And I think that's like a good way to like meet, like have new people hear you, but at the same time, you know that like nobody's really like knows who you are or like is there
they
they're there.
just want you to play fucking free bird.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about what you're doing. I mean, and you're right. Like, there are some people who are gonna listen, but for the most part, like they don't give a fuck. I think that's like the hardest, like really the most challenging. Because in that situation, like in a bar, like I guess they could leave, but like they kind of have to listen to you play.
Yeah.
It's not like they put a quarter in the jukebox and you're playing. It's like you're just kind of there. And so that's a such a weird that's such a for me like a crazy hurdle to get across from like people who would be willing to come out and see you other than people who are just there because they're there to see their other friend or whatever. But I haven't really played that much live, especially since I moved to Ohio, and I've kind of been transitioning into that, really just dragging my feet. That's a whole fucking excuse. I've just been fucking, I don't know anybody, I've just been being a fucking fuck. So
That's part of the transition though. I mean that's part of what goes into moving every time.
yeah, that's true. Where'd you say you're from?
So originally Minnesota. I'm actually down in South Carolina right now though. That's probably how I like
We're in
found
South Carolina.
Charleston.
No shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, man. How did you end up in South Carolina from Minnesota?
So I'm in school for physical therapy right now.
Sick.
Yeah,
Cool,
so
man.
I'm
Good
just
on
on
you.
rotation. Yeah,
That's dope.
yeah.
That's dope. How long have you been there?
Just since January.
Since January? Okay,
Yeah.
well, whenever the summer comes and you see how big the fucking mosquitoes are, we'll
Right.
talk about it. We'll
Well,
talk
don't
about
talk
that.
about that.
We'll talk about it. They're
We'll talk
fucking crazy. They're like fucking pterodactyls. Come down and suck your blood. That's intense.
we had one warm day where I went out on the boat and I've been here for like my rotation, my see I was so mad because he's lived here for like 2.5 years and I was here for like 6 weeks and met someone with a boat and like they took me out on the boat and he was so mad about it. But I got eaten alive by gnats. But other than that, it was cool.
Oh yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, man. It's crazy, man. What's the weather like in Minnesota? I feel like it's probably cold.
It's cold 24/7 all the
Fuck
time.
that, man. That's Dude, that's like the big it's not the weather where I'm at isn't that much different from where I'm from, but like it is like I was out working. I'm doing like roofing now. I'm
Mhm.
like sheet metal roofs and stuff like that. I did that like back when I was like in my early 20s and doing that again. And like I was out there one day and it was like 11 degrees. And I was just like, fuck this, dude. I was like, fuck this shit.
This is not meant for human conditions.
Dude, I was looking at the cat beside me and he's wearing a fucking hoodie. And he's looking over, he's like, "Oh, you cold, Bubby?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fucking cold."
Got 5 layers on and I can't feel my face.
It's like I think my fucking wiener just fell off.
It's so bad. It's so
So
bad.
bad. I'm so ready for summer.
People just get used to it. Like when I was a kid growing up there too, I remember there was a year where I wore shorts the whole year. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
how did I not die? How did how did my legs not?
Yeah, that's weird how you think about this too. When you were a kid, how often did you scrape your knees?
Never. Never
Never?
happened. No, no.
Dude, okay. When I was a kid, I would scrape my knees all the fucking time. And I'd also wear shorts all the time when it was fucking cold. And I think like as an adult, I'm like, fuck, I haven't like when the fuck have I fell down? Like
Oh, see, I
what
feel
kind
like
of
I
shit?
scraped my knees a lot as an adult. Maybe we got the reverse end of it. I feel like I'm constantly running into things. That's where I
Damn.
could go with this.
Damn, that's such a I don't know, it's such a weird thing like that I was but yeah, I can't do the cold, man. I wasn't built for it, man. I was like I think I was built to be like naked running around somewhere not freezing, you know.
Somewhere warm.
Yeah, somewhere warm. Not like maybe not like Florida, but like somewhere warmer, you know.
Yeah. North Carolina's pretty nice where it's a good moderate. I lived there for a little bit. It was good moderate temperature where you
What
got like
part?
High Point and Charlotte and
I did a lot of acid in High Point.
yeah, yeah, but that's I mean that's pretty much all that's there. That's all that's in High Point.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a lot of acid in High Point. That's cool, man.